All right, teachers, how are you all doing? I really want to sit down and compose a memo, but it's hard to sit down and get anything done. And when I get home, I'm just like you all. I'm beat. I fall asleep on my family, so I'm walking throughout the building. So I'm just gonna tell you what I was going to put in a memo. Our fifth period is I've been observing at both campuses, and it's a little bit too unorganized, but we are going to set up a schedule so that we can make sure that we can accomplish a lot of things more than just having a directed studies time and count on students to study when a lot of times they're not. I don't know. I know the English and our math teachers are aware of STAR scores after our students did their first benchmark assessment. We were very, very much upset with those scores. We have a lot of students who are not on grade level. So that's everybody's problem to deal with. And in working with our instructional support specialists, Mrs. Abbott and Mrs. Wright, and also working with our math coach Tammy Vincent and our reading coach Katie Williams, we have come up with a plan that we have got to address these gaps. And like I said, we're not blaming any certain grade, but when you have something in your lap, you have to deal with it. And so we're going to work with our students to try to close these learning gaps. So what we've devised, I was not going to purchase IXL in any form or fashion. However, I can say that the Durand North English Language Arts Department, they came with me and they wanted to utilize it in a proper fashion. And so I was starting to consider. And then after I saw the major gaps that we have with our students in reading and math and STAR after taking the STAR assessment, I've got to purchase IXL. So if you look at a 5-day week with directed studies at fifth period group, yes, you have lunch. So that's going to carve out about a 30 to 40 minute section of that time, because you got to let them eat lunch. You got to get them to and from the lunchroom, and then you can allow some restroom time. But on one of the days of the week, we're going to utilize it with IXL math. And another day we will use it as IXL reading. So that's 2 days carved out of the week that we will use IXL. Those students will do a diagnostic. And after that diagnostic, it is going to allow students to practice and work in those areas that they are not performing well in, they're deficient. So we've got to do what we can as educators to close the gap. And I want everybody to get on board with that. We've got to work with all students to help them. And you'll say, well, I have this student, they're on grade level, so why would they need to work on IXL reading or math? Well, you can help advance them, because if students get bored, things happen. So we can help them not only work on their grade level, but we can help them or allow them to work on higher levels as well. So we're helping both students, those that are not on grade level and those that are, to move further. So that's 2 days out of the week. 1 day out of the week, we're going to do a character ed session. Mrs. McCullers and Dr. Gaddis, they're going to get together. I know Mrs. McCullers already has it outlined out for the year at South, but they're going to get together so we can make sure that we're doing the same thing on both sides of the track. We'll do character ed 1 day, and then at Durand South, they are doing a vocabulary day, and they're doing this to help one of our teachers that's working on her master's. She is doing that as a project, as a school-wide project. So that's something that we can explore doing in the 8th grade as well. But another day will be an advisory directed studies day, where you as the teachers, I need you looking at your students' grades to see what they are missing and making sure that they are working on what they need to. We are using that as a time as advisory to also encourage our students to do their schoolwork. And I'm going to tell you, one teacher over at 8th grade who brought that to me was Miss Reinhardt. She was already going to do it. Pull her students' grades, make sure they're working on the things that they need to work on. If they're missing something in the class, she was going to communicate with teachers to make sure that those students are getting their assignments made up. One other thing that Miss Reinhardt is doing, she's doing a book study, so to speak, with her classes as well. So we have a day or two that we can, I don't want to say play with, but it's more of we can utilize that time as a directed study hall time, but we have to make sure that we're all doing that. It's not an extra prep period. That is not what fifth period is meant to be. It is not a movie period where we put students on Disney and let them watch movies. It is a time where we're supposed to be working with our students. We're going to work with them in intervention across the board because it can help everybody. And then we're going to, like I said, 2 days IXL, 1 day character ed, an advisory day, and we may even have 2 advisory days. But we've got to make sure our students are working. Now, I'm also going to share with everybody a draft. Miss Fomby and our directed studies teachers over at South, they give, I think it's 25 points a week. So those students have a daily grade. And so we need to be giving a daily grade in fifth period. If students are not working, they don't get the grade for the day. If they're on task, they get their grade for the day. It's a daily grade. So I will share with you her syllabus and how they do their grading over here, but after the Labor Day week. So starting September 12th, hopefully we will have IXL in place because the POs have been processed. The POs have been sent to the company, so hopefully we can use next week as a setup week, and then on September 12th we can hit the ground running with this schedule. So that's what we're going to do. That's our plans, and that's what we're going to follow. So one thing I need you to do is to trust me in the process. Trust that the process will work, and in helping to make the progress work, you got to do your part. Okay? I can't have a weak link in the chain. Tammy Vincent said it best. We can blame other grade levels, but what will help is take what we have, work with it, and approve upon it, and then we will see the results by the end of the year. We're going to benchmark more than just 3 times a year with STAR, but we want to see progress throughout to make sure that our students are progressing, and then when they get to state testing, they'll be ready. They will be ready. And also coming up in the next week or so, our reading and math coach, they're going to get with everyone so we can share our ACAP data. I know last year at Durand South, we did an ACAP push every month. We did see some gains by doing that. So that's something I may also look at adjusting some schedules maybe after January. Once we get settled in, that we can do some ACAP push as we prepare for state testing. Guys, I appreciate you. Watch this video 1 or 2 times if you need to, but I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great Labor Day. Rest, get some rest, and then let's go back at it on next Tuesday, and we will continue to have a great school year. Last but not least, Ms. Searle sent out to everyone our early dismissal days. So you have those bell schedules. So make sure that you are planning accordingly for the day on September 14th for early dismissal. And then we will let you know as far as what professional development activities that we're going to do that day. Guys, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.